Hello, Scorpio. We're getting ready to do your full moon reading for this time period. This will go full moon to full moon. I've been opening up with a Wisdom Keepers Oracle, and I really am liking these. I've had this deck, but I haven't used it in these readings until today, and I'm really loving the messages that we're getting from them. And it's naturalness. Right away, I'm feeling like it's about just being natural, being your natural self. But we're going to do the story because I haven't read all these Wisdom Keeper stories. But I'm feeling just, and also about nature too. Number 10, naturalness. We're going to read this. And there's going to be hopefully something in here for you. The gift, it says, naturalness, and the shadow is self-obsession, and then this city is being. Once you understand that you are neither your name or your actions, feelings, thoughts, or beliefs, you realize that human nature is something far greater and wider than you ever suspected. My parents and my culture always prioritized the collective over the individual. As a young girl, I mastered the arts of self-denial and invisibility. I lived through and for the people around me. Over time, I started to feel like I was drowning, like I couldn't breathe, until an anger rumbled so loudly within me, I could no longer deny it. Suddenly, my survival no longer depended on my disappearing. It depended on my ability to reject my family and conditioning at all costs. Oh, I'm feeling that rebel energy here. I could no longer risk losing myself, so I became obsessed with myself. I wanted to know myself, be myself, dress like myself, act like myself, even pray and commune with spirit like myself. I looked to the West to show me how to be a true individual. I became so good at being me that no one could penetrate my fortress of selfhood or my heart. I couldn't afford to be sensitive or to care how my way of being impacted others. I believed most people wanted to change or trap me. The rest of them, in my opinion, needed changing themselves. It wasn't until all my relationships fell apart that I realized just how narcissistic I had become. It took courage to see and own just how angry, paranoid, and impenetrable I was, and how, in my fear of losing myself, I'd been pushing people away. Today, I feel great compassion for myself and all beings who suffer as we struggle to find our way in life, to live out of our true nature. It took me years to feel safe enough to let go of all the identity trappings I'd gathered along the way, and to fully grasp that my true nature is beyond all definition. Now I know that we can only experience and operate as a unity if we allow ourselves to be our unique natural selves. I see you striving to discover who you are, and I know how difficult it can be to answer this deeply human question. While you're searching for yourself, do not forget to enjoy the journey. There will be a time when you can just let it all go. In the end, you are not what you do or what you know. You are not your thoughts, feelings, or beliefs. Nor are you your looks or job description. Over time, as this truth sinks in, and as you stop arguing with your life, you will find yourself becoming more grounded, centered, and full of joy, more relaxed, free, and at ease. Whatever is in your heart, whatever you're meant to do or express, will simply arise out of you with naturalness. I am here to remind you that you are far more splendid than your mind could ever grasp, and your authentic nature is destined to bloom and contribute to the magnificent garden of which we're all a part. Graciously taking a bow, get out of your own way and let it happen. I do like that. We'll get a couple Sacred Destiny cards, but I'm feeling like, yeah, like this could be just a little message saying, maybe you've built your walls too high and you've maybe rebelled a little even against your normal naturalness, just to kind of extremely go one way instead of the other. But yet maybe the other is a part of you too, and there is a balance between that. That's what I'm kind of feeling here from this. And you'll know where that, there's that and that. Let's see what we got here. We got truth. And right away I'm feeling, you know, truth. Your natural truth. Your truth. And change. The truth is maybe there is need to be some change. Maybe you have blocked people out with your rebellious kind of nature, but it's not really your nature. It's not the truth of who you are. Maybe there is some things that you have totally resisted or totally disregarded or put out of your life that don't align with your actual authentic truth, Scorpio. Maybe there's some change here on the horizon about what you're, when you're being honest with yourself, like how much you've closed things out because maybe you got used to a certain way of just putting yourself out of things and not being your authentic self. And then when you figure it out, like, hey, I've had, you know, I haven't been able to be myself, then you rebelled and went extremely the other way. I'm feeling like an extreme, like went extremely this way and extremely that way. When there's a really nice balance here of both. Like, you know, this part of you that wants to be part of the collective and this part of you that wants to be just you. And we are all just us. You can still do things that other people are doing, and you can still, I'm kind of that way myself, actually. There's a part of me that just doesn't want to be like everybody else. And, you know, but if you're just you, you are just you. There's nobody like you. Even if you're working the same job as other people, or you're doing kind of the same things, it doesn't mean you're doing it because there's something in you that wants to do it. Not just, it should be the same way either way. Like if I say, oh, I'm going to go do this, I'm not doing it just because everybody else isn't doing it. If that makes sense. Like, don't do things just because everybody else is doing them. Go, oh, I don't want none of that. Like if everybody else is I don't know. And let's say it's something really good and something that you're like, yeah, I kind of do want to do that, but everybody else is doing it, so I'm not going to do it because I'm sick of doing what everybody else is doing, what everybody else thinks we should do. Yeah, so it's kind of like getting out of yourself and kind of at the same time getting in yourself, like getting, I'm feeling an energy of like, and this tree, you know, it does stand alone. And has it left you alone? Has it left you lonely? And this horse is like this carousel, you know, it's floating on this balloon, which is totally out of the ordinary too. I'm going to read the truth and the change card here. And we're going to see what else we can get from this, Scorpio. Wind is in the realm of the air elements, one of the 4 elements of life. Air, water, fire, and earth. Air takes form in the oxygen we breathe, as well as it breezes and zephyrs. It also represents our communication skills. When we speak, it is the air that passes through our mouths that allow us to speak and to communicate. Wind is also prana and source of life. As you communicate your truth to yourself and others, you'll find new energy and vitality emerging within your life. Be honest with yourself and speak from your heart. Find your truth. Listen for what is sincere and honest in others. One of the most difficult things to know is what's true for you and what isn't. Sometimes it takes sincere silence to find your inner voice of truth. But once you find it, let go of anything in your life that isn't authentic. And this is going with this this naturalness, you know. If it's not natural to you, and you've kind of made something that's unnatural to you, like try to make it your nature, and it's just not, then you're not in alignment with really who you are. And you have to be honest with yourself and eventually others about that. It says, share your truth with others. Release relationships in which you can't be yourself and can't be real. Being genuine can allow your spirit to fly and the song of your soul to be heard in the universe. I like that. So if there is a situation in your life, Scorpio, where you've, you know, maybe not spoken your mind too, because you're trying to be something, you know, more, and I was feeling like a wild and tame energy. If there's something, where it's like, oh, I have to be good, I have to make, good choices, and I can't say this because that would go against what everybody else thinks. But then on the other extreme, it's like, I'm going to say everything that would go against what everybody thinks, just almost that shock value is what I'm feeling. Or it's like, I can talk about a lot of things, but do I really feel them? Is it really naturally, is that really me? Or is that like kind of the rebel in me? Or is this the rebel in me? And actually the natural me is a lot more, in a more balanced kind of, I don't want to say, but domesticated or tame, and there I am feeling like a big difference here. And then change. We're going to read that also. So there's change coming in during this full moon, and this might be something you are thinking about, Scorpio. Is like, what is your truth, and where have you maybe rebelled to an extreme and left yourself really, really separated from other people? I've gotten this in your guys' readings before. It's kind of it's thing with it's like, I want to be a part of it, but I don't. I want to go here, but I don't. It's kind of been a thing for the Scorpios I'm reading for. It's Dancing Clouds. And this is the card. I think I showed it to you guys already. Throughout time, people have looked to the heavens for signs, and in the ever-changing movement of the clouds, they have seen shapes and forms that seem to be direct messages from the Creator. Clouds are shapeshifters. Their essence is the same, but they can change from mist to rain to ice to snow to water. The transient nature of clouds lends the understanding that life is transitory and ever-changing. And I am feeling that with also even the clouds in the background of this tree, and also the conditioning and growing up and becoming something that you're kind of taught to be, and then totally rebelling against that and becoming something completely different. But it's like neither here nor there is really your true authentic self, which is somewhere in the middle, and you can become, I am feeling that shapeshifter energy where you can kind of be whatever you want to be and choose to do what you want to do and feel good about it, as long as it's true to the way you feel and you aren't doing it out of like a rebellious state, or a really there's another word I'm looking for, like a controlled state, or like somebody else can, what's the word I'm looking for? Help me out. I'm not fancy with a lot of words, but it's like domesticated is what I'm feeling. Like either, going way far out left or way far right, way free-spirited and way wild to way tame and domesticated and, what's that word I'm looking for? When you're very pleasing to other people, when you're, it's not meek, it's not mild, it's just, it's right there, but I can't think of it, and you'll know, it'll come to me maybe, but, the sacred landscape wants you to know it's okay to change your mind. It's all right to change directions. You do not need to be consistent. This is the time to put the needs and expectations of others to the side and listen to the beat of your own drum. So if you do find yourself kind of trying to please others or be a people pleaser or something, maybe now's the time you say, no, that isn't what I want. That isn't the truth of what I want. I want to change this. And they may say something, come back and say, well, yeah, this is what you've been doing. Well, it's okay to change your mind too, Scorpio. It's okay to say, yeah, I really rebelled against this idea or this group or this situation, but now I've reevaluated, and now I am seeing where I belong in you belong everywhere and anywhere you resonate with. So it's not even just about specifically being one way or another. It's about being able to be okay with this way or the other, and both. It's interesting. I'm getting a very conforming was the word I was looking for, like a conforming. Now it's coming to me but it's very like one side's very conforming and one side's very like non-conforming, And there's like this energy of not wanting to conform, and then this energy of I must conform to make this work, when there is a balance, and you can speak up for that balance, and you can talk about that that need to have both structure and non-structure in your life, both goals and also a little bit of a free path, walk both. It's okay to change your mind. It's okay to change your traditions. It's okay to change things you were taught if those don't resonate with you. It says you don't need to, and here it is, you don't need to follow tradition. Create your own traditions. You are free to express yourself and let your spirit fly. Be daring, go beyond predictable behavior. If people are used to seeing you rebel, used to you seeing not follow like any structures, then maybe you're feeling like, hey, I want to follow this little bit of structure. I want this in my life. And it's okay to change your mind and do that. And when they say, well, I'm not used to seeing you do this. Well, I've changed my mind about some things. I've reevaluated some ways I handled some of my growing up, and the way I kind of maybe pushed people out, or went really hard one way and didn't give this side enough, this way any chance. I'm feeling family and stuff too, like maybe completely shutting out people or a group, and I was feeling like groups or family or something. Maybe you've reevaluated some relationships in your life, some situations that you've went through where you completely shut everybody out, instead of just trying to find like, and this could just be in general, but trying to find where you fit in both the traditional and non-traditional ways. With the holidays coming up and stuff, you may be thinking about traditions and stuff that your family had, or ways you felt during the holidays, or ways you felt like maybe you weren't a part of things and you wanted to be. And maybe that's something you're working through during this full moon, Scorpio, and you're going to be part of this change in yourself, because you got to realize, I want this to change. I don't want to stay alone during the holidays, or I don't want to, and I'm just bringing up the holidays because they're coming up. I'm not saying specifically, it's not one message in particular. It's just about being a part of something you want to be a part of, but yet keeping yourself separated from it, from like a rebellious place, or a place of fear, or a place of not feeling like you belong there. I've gotten this in your readings before, Scorpio. Just because something has always been done a certain way doesn't mean that it needs to continue to be done that way. You can't control the exact circumstances of your life, but you can control what meaning you give to them. Select meanings that empower you, for this is the time to be carefree, wild, and unpredictable. And do something that you usually wouldn't do, step out of your box, or your non-box, or step into the box if you want to, or step out, if you want a little more structure, a little more form, a little more, that's good. I mean, if you don't, you don't. So I got a Moonology card now for you guys, and we actually got two. So we got a new romantic cycle begins, and don't let your past hold you back. And I was feeling that with this card coming out, there's like maybe some old things you're working on that maybe you felt kind of became a part of you that just isn't your true, authentic truth, because it was you were conforming to something or something, and then maybe you rebelled. And then this is nice, and this doesn't have to be a romantic cycle. It could just be a new cycle in general, but it's a cycle of love and understanding, and it could be romantic, it could be dreamy, so there could be something really good coming in. This is a new moon, so it could be this just began for you, or this is coming in after the full moon. And your south node, the south node, this may not be your south node, but it's kind of what it's the past, it's what's already been, and it's what you've already learned from, and it's not a place where, if you know about astrology, the north node is what we are trying to gain more of in this lifetime, and the south node is what we are already strong in, because we've already experienced that energy in previous lifetimes, or even this lifetime. But it's that's where your strength is. You don't need to dwell in it anymore. And that's kind of what it's saying. Don't let the past hold you back. So don't let what you already learned from, already been through, already experienced, create or take away from what you're trying to change. You're trying to change. You're trying to grow. You're trying to move forward into a more authentic truth for yourself. Not something that might have been the truth back in a previous lifetime or even this lifetime. So that's what I'm getting from there, Scorpio. And we are going to get a couple of these here. And this is going to be the energy that's leaving or becoming kind of less profound during this full moon coming in. And it looks like we got actually 2 cards here too. And the next energy is going to be the energies you're going to be mostly working with, or what's going to be really profound during this full moon. Maybe the energies you need to work with, or even energies you need to take a harder look at, or will be kind of experiencing a little more of during this full moon. And this is it's a full moon in Taurus, and you guys are the fixed water, I believe. So, you know, I am feeling this in these water readings too. I feel like this water energy is kind of getting more fixed, but you guys already kind of have a fixed way of doing things, but maybe that's what you're trying to change, is your normal fixed way of doing things. While fixed energies are trying to be more flexible, the more flexible energies are trying to be more fixed and more stabilized. And then we're going to see, following the past and the present energy coming in during the full moon, what kind of energies could be coming in after kind of coming in through this full moon and beyond. Like till the next full moon, some stuff you could be working with. I also could take it as just like some advice, but one more. All right. So, and we got there, and I was feeling the family. When I was talking, we got the 10 of Cups and the Star. You could be really wishing to reconnect with recently, or you have reconnected with family, or there's a healing happening within the family, or within something that's very emotional to you, something that's very emotional. And also there's the new romantic cycle and the truth. There's something here that's really good here. It's kind of that really happy kind of healing, and it could have been really deep too, and heavy emotional healing energy too, that's kind of dissipating, and where you're going to be looking at what's next, and seeing if you are also, I'm feeling like with the 7 of Pentacles too, it's like there's been some healing work done within the family, or within maybe a romantic relationship, maybe a home situation or a romantic relationship, and now it's like during this time you're looking and seeing, are you seeing, like, kind of seeing what is actually come about from the healing that has happened, but is it enough? And has there been enough nurturing? And is there something more you're waiting for here? I feel like you may be waiting more for some more like results. This could be where maybe you need to do a little more work, or somebody around you, or in a family situation, there's a little more work that needs done. And that could be just some of the final things you're waiting for here, or waiting to do, take action on, or maybe with with the change and the truth here, you know, maybe you're waiting to see, actually, because, I mean, this was reversed, so it's like, maybe you're even anticipating not seeing something, but we are going to see what this energy is bringing. 7 Cups, making that choice and cutting through all other choices and only choosing a choice that works for you and is your truth. So if you see that something isn't working or something isn't coming in for you, or you aren't really feeling yourself gravitating towards something, choosing something that's more in alignment with you, the truth of what you want, even if it's something that other people may not even see you maybe even wanting. But there is a choice here coming in and a need to logically make a choice that's good for yourself and cut out kind of other confusions or other options, especially things that just are done and in the past, because there needs to be a change from the past to the present, because you're moving forward. Let's see what's on the bottom here, Scorpio. 8 of Swords, keeping yourself stuck, possibly in maybe some old truths that are untruths now. So that's a really nice reading, Scorpio. Naturalness. I always appreciate you guys coming to your reading. I hope that helps somebody. Let's see what's on the bottom of this one. New beginnings, a new cycle, a new romantic cycle, or a new family cycle. Something's coming in here that's emotional, and emotions are running high. So I was feeling like kind of an emotional peak here, where it's like, oh, where you may feel a little let down even, but then it's really important to make a choice and make a fair choice for yourself that's aligned with really truly what you want, and not letting old behaviors that you just kind of did and do kind of make that change that you need to make the choice you need to make, because there's something here about the past holding you back, and it could be just old conditionings or old ways you handled situations or something that need to change, so, and cut out all the other like options and the confusion and get down right to what you want, because I feel like you do know what you want, Scorpio. So that is really nice. On the bottom of here, it's freshness, and I'm also feeling that new fresh start, getting ready. You guys feel like, all right, Scorpio, your video cut short, but I just want to say thank you for coming and watching your video. I hope you guys have a good rest of your month, and I always appreciate your watches, likes, subscribes, and I hope that helps somebody. Talk to you later.